Hey, this is Professor Lee again, and today we're going to be reviewing our order of operations, and this is going to be a little homework tutorial. So open up your books to page 319, and we're going to do questions number 1, 2, and 10. So just a quick review. When we try to simplify expressions, there are a couple things that we have to look for first. The first thing that we look for is our letter P, which is representing our parentheses. Now, parentheses, they look something like this. Or they can look like this. And these are called brackets. And you go ahead and do the parentheses first when you see them. The E represents the exponents, but we don't have to worry about that yet. And then we look for multiplication or division. And lastly, once we have finished simplifying all the parentheses, all of the multiplication and division, we go ahead and do addition and subtraction. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on question number 1. All right, we have over here a very complicated looking expression, but when we kind of boil it down to the different steps, it becomes a lot more simple. So first thing we got to do is look for our parentheses. And if we actually take a look, there is a lot going on. So I see a big bracket going on over here. And inside of that bracket, I see actually 2 parentheses. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take care of everything inside of that bracket. Imagine that bracket like an island. We have to solve and simplify everything on the island first before we can escape it. So inside of that island, I have 2 parentheses. And if you remember, we take care of the parentheses on the left, and then we take care of the parentheses on the right. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Let's go ahead and take care of that 2 times 5. And I'm going to use a different color to kind of show you. I'm going to circle that, and we're going to go ahead and take care of 2 times 5 is 10. And I'm going to rewrite everything else in a different color. Plus 3 times 8. Close that parenthesis and close that bracket. And don't forget that 14 hanging out on the outside. Now, I'm going to take a look. I still have my bracket there, and I have my last parenthesis. So I'm going to go ahead and change colors, and I'm going to circle the 3 times 8, because I'm going to take care of that next. 3 times 8, I know, is 24. And everything else, I'm going to rewrite with my different color. So 10 plus 24, close up my bracket, and then outside is still 14 plus. Now, I took care of all my parentheses, and I still have my big brackets left. So I'm going to treat that bracket exactly like a parenthesis. So changing back to my green, I'm going to solve whatever's there. So 10 plus 24. If you need to, you can do your work on the side. So 10 plus 24, and I get 34. And then switching colors, rewrite everything else. 14 plus 34. And then from here, we go ahead and figure out our last step, 14 plus 34. And I'm going to go ahead and let you finish solving that one. All right, question number 2. Feel free to pause and try this on your own and then watch me solve it. But once again, I see 1 big bracket and 2 parentheses inside. So I'm going to take a look at my bracket first. And starting with my left parenthesis, I'm going to go ahead and circle that. And take care of 8 plus 2 is, whoops, just fix that real quick, is 10. And then changing to a new color, I'm going to rewrite everything else. Minus parentheses 16 minus 9. Close that bracket. And then on the outside is 5 times. Now, I'm going to find my other color, circle my second set of parentheses, 16 minus 9. Go ahead and do the work on the side. If you can do it in your head, that is even better. And we get 7. And then switching back to our other color, go ahead and rewrite everything else. Now, you might be wondering, why in the world am I writing everything over and over again? Well, this is to prevent making mistakes. Because the more numbers and the more operations get involved, it's easier to mistake a number or to rewrite something incorrectly. All right, so now I don't have any more parentheses, so we treat this bracket just like a parenthesis. I'm going to go ahead and circle that. 10 minus 3, or 10 minus 7 is 3. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this off by rewriting everything else. And we're left with 5 times 3 equals 15. So that simplifies down to 15. All right, last question. This is a doozy. So what we see here is we have 2 sets of brackets. Now, take a deep breath and start with the one on the left. All right, I've got the 2 times 6 as a parenthesis inside my first bracket. We're going to take a look at this one first. Okay, so starting with the 2 times 6, I've got a 3, and I'm literally going to rewrite everything else the same. 3 plus 3 plus 35 minus 7 times 3. Notice I did not do anything to this second bracket. I'm doing nothing. I'm only doing one step at a time. Now, I got to finish my first bracket, so 3 plus 3 gets me 6. And then I'm going to rewrite everything else out. Plus 35 minus 7 times 3. And sorry about the mess, the marker is acting up a little bit. And now, since we have finished with the first bracket, we're going to go ahead and hop into the second bracket. So 7 times 3 is a parenthesis right over here, so I'm going to start with that. 7 times 3 is 21. And then rewrite everything else. 35 minus 21. And then I'm going to add 6 on the outside. So now, go ahead and do our second to last step. Circle the 35 minus 21. Go ahead and do the work on the side. Get 14. And I'm going to go ahead and let you finish off this question. 6 plus 14. Hopefully this helped. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me your questions. All right, have a good one.